Mr. Kohler, please read the title of House Bill 1143.
House Bill 1143, Representative Ferrandino, Senator Stedman, concerning adjustment in the reimbursement rates the state pays county governments for costs associated with elections involving statewide ballot measures.
Representative Ferrandino.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move House Bill 1143 and the Appropriations Committee report and the State Veterans and Military Affairs Committee report.
The Appropriations report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Appropriations report put on the Appropriations Clause to fund the money. Ask for an aye vote.
Is there any further discussion on the Appropriations report? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of the Appropriations report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. The ayes have it and the appropriation report's passed. Representative Ferrandino.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Now on to the State Veterans and Military Affairs report. This changed it from the counties. The original bill had $1.90, and then we lowered it by 10 cents, so cut the increase in half to 90 cents for the small counties, 80 cents for the big counties. That's the increase. What end up we having is a 10% increase for all of the counties for what they're getting paid now. Ask for an aye vote on amendment on the State Military and Veterans Affairs report.
Representative Kerr.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I too ask for an aye vote. This amendment was done after some negotiation, and it actually made pretty good sense to the local clerks and recorders. So, good amendment to the committee report. Vote aye.
Is there any further discussion on the State Veterans and Military Affairs report? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of the State Veterans and Military Affairs report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. The report is passed. Representative Ferrandino to the bill.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This bill now would increase the amount of money we pay to the counties. We have not increased it for many years. It would increase it for the large counties from 80 cents to 90 cents for the small counties, and for the large counties from 70 cents to 80 cents. If you look at how much the ballots are costing, the counties are seeing increases. We take up a large portion of how much those ballots are, especially with all the statewide ballot initiatives. So this would help us move towards paying our fair share to the counties. So I would ask for an aye vote on the bill.
Representative Court.
Thank you. And I have an amendment I'd like to present. Amendment 005. This is to the bill. This is to the bill, yeah. Aren't we on the bill? Yes. Yeah, okay.
The amendment is properly displayed before us. Please proceed.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Folks, we know that the Secretary of State has been very, very concerned about the cost to counties for mailing to inactive voters, and we also know that the Secretary of State has numerous times said that he has lots of money in his cash funds. So I think that it makes sense when we are amending how much money the Secretary of State reimburses the counties, that we also say that for those counties that need it, when they mail to inactive voters, that the Secretary of State also reimburses those expenses.
Assistant Majority Leader Waller.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd ask for a title ruling because I don't believe this amendment actually fits under the title of the bill.
Committee will stand in a brief recess to discuss whether the amendment fits under the title. Will the representative please join me on the side of the chamber?
You okay with this?
The committee will come back to order. The chair rules that the amendment does not fit under the title. Representative Kerr.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It was brought to my attention by the Secretary of State's office that there was an issue that can be corrected in the bill, and with that I would move L006.
The amendment is properly before us. Please proceed.
Thank you, Madam Chair. What we're doing here is House bill compensates counties 10 cents extra for each ballot containing a statewide contest and asks for nothing in return. What they're asking for is to amend 1143 to collect reports of county election expenditures. Colorado citizens and legislators deserve to know how much different parts of our election cost and what differences there are in the ways the money is spent in the counties. And that's what this does.
Representative Ferrandino.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I have been trying to work with the counties and Secretary of State on this amendment. Unfortunately, they could not come to agreement on this. That's why I did not run the amendment. I understand what we're trying to do here, but there is some fear by the county clerks, and I think somewhat justified, that the Secretary of State, and I think in this amendment it's not in there, but we're worried too that the original draft of this amendment allowed the Secretary of State to deny payment if they didn't receive this data. I don't think that's in this amendment, but it does, while trying to provide some more transparency. I know the clerks are willing to work with the Secretary of State and trying to find an amendment that works, but they don't think this is the right way. So, you know, the clerks oppose this, the Secretary of State is supportive of this. You know, I think there's some legitimacy here, but at the same time, I did tell the clerks I wouldn't support it unless they were on board with it.
Representative Kerr.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Since it allows the Secretary of State's office to have this information, I think it's an important piece of information that should be available. Open records and transparency is a critical issue, and that's why I brought forth this amendment. Please vote aye.
Is there any further discussion on L006? Seeing none, Representative Del Grosso. Representative Del Grosso.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I would like to get a title ruling on this as well. I don't believe this also fits under the title.
Committee will stand in a brief recess to discuss whether the amendment fits under the title. Will the representative please join me on the side of the chamber for discussion? Will come back to order. Representative Kerr.
Thank you, Madam Chair. After discussing with the Assistant Majority Leader, it's been determined that this bill or this amendment doesn't fall under the title. Therefore, I withdraw the motion.
The amendment's been withdrawn. Representative Ferrandino.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I ask for an aye vote.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of House Bill 1143. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it and the bill passes. Representative.
Mr. Kohler, please read the title of House Bill 1143.